My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he said, I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest.
I would not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best.
Any other regrets?
The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia or that president.
Sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices. Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and Armed Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time with experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lost us. The government betray us.
Oh yes, what an interesting world we live in today. Even those who are deceased, they say the same things. The world will always be interesting once politicians continue to exist and participate in the governance process of our country. This world will continue to be an interesting place once leaders continue to ignore the grievances, the issues that border on the living conditions of our people. This world will continue to be an interesting place. But there is a judgment day awaiting all of us. We will all have a space to account for our stewardship, for the role we play in ensuring that the world is a better place. What did you do when you were 18 years old and had the right to vote? What did you do when you were an assistant minister? What did you do when you were a deputy minister? What recommendations did you make to your minister proper that he or she did not listen? What policies did you craft and advance to the president when you were minister? All of these questions will form part of your answers that you will present during your during the time when you should have been made to account for your stewardship. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight. Interesting conversations here tonight on the different issues. There is a growing division that existed between the Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. That disagreement is beginning to reveal itself in the public. 2 days ago, the Ministry of Health issued a statement announcing to all of us that there is an outbreak of a virus in the country. On yesterday, the ministry, the Public Health Institute say, hey, that thing health ministry talking that lie. There is no viral outbreak in the country. All of these will form part of our in-house conversation. But tonight, we want to spend time on this whole conversation about Zoga Wizing. Yes, we'll talk something about it and past government officials generally.
We saw it frustrate us. So why does you lie?
Do you know that we have received copy of the investigative report conducted on the fire incident on Capitol Building?
Ego.
Oh yes, Taku just say ego. Yes, that's true. We have a copy. And that's going to be our discussion tonight. It's an interesting report. This report is going to has exposed, in fact, the government's conspiracy against those lawmakers and those peaceful citizens behind bars. And it's going to damage the tiny reputation that the courts are surviving on currently in our country. If care is not taken.
I'm telling you, brother.
You will realize why the government refused to publish the report after the investigation was done by a Fire Rescue Alliance from the US. This is the reason why they were refusing to publish the report, because the report is damning. The report is exposing the government's conspiracy and ineptitude. The report also exposes Joe Bwaka.
Nothing.
Oh, the report is dirty. It is nasty. Tonight, we're not talking politics. We're talking this report. The report started dealing with the government from the background of the report. So yes, these are the issues we're talking about tonight. Let's spend time on Capitol Building. All of you wanted to know. Oh, but there was an investigation conducted by American firefighter. What is in the report? Why is the government refusing to publish the report? Oh yes, we have received copy of the report. We will talk the report tonight. The report is scattered. The report press chakla. Exposes the police and the fire service. This is the reason why they did not want to publish the report. This is the reason why they did not want us to read the report. They did not want to give us copy of the report. But we took our time to investigate and follow. Finally, the report has landed in our hands. Oh yes, this is Freedom Hard Talk. This is Freedom FM. This is 87.9. My name is Austin. Today is an extraordinary edition of the show because the first thing is it is the last edition of the show for this week. And today is KOK's birthday. It's his birthday's edition.
Telling you, brother.
So we are paying out cash tonight. We are not paying $5,000 tonight. We are paying $10,000 to each of our winners tonight on the show as part of the celebration of KOK tonight. So all you have to do, just make sure you have $50 Liberian on your mobile money account, or its equivalent in US dollars is 25 cents, and then you are qualified to play our cash giveaway. When you have that amount in your phone, you dial *255*1# to play. You dial *255*1# to play. Just for $50, you stand a chance of winning $10,000 Liberian on the show tonight. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia, and we are in partnership with Win Liberia. Win Liberia is our financial partner. They are the ones supporting us to give you all of the monies we are giving you day by day. And so tonight, as part of KOK's birthday, we're paying you $10,000 just for $50 Liberian or 25 cents.
We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us.
Very shortly, we'll take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. Take a walk from our partner, Wayne Liberia. And then we'll go to our Facebook Live feed to welcome all of you who are joining us tonight. And those of you following us via the radio.
You screw us, you use us, and later on abuse us. So why?
Again, just for $50 Liberian tonight, you stand a chance of winning for yourself 10,000 Liberian dollars. All you have to do just that *255*1# to play our cash campaign tonight. Again, *255*1# to play our cash giveaway tonight. Let's take a break to take a word from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia, and our partner, Wayne Liberia. When we come back, we'll move into our discussions tonight.
On Freedom FM, yes, for just $100 Liberian dollars or 50 cents United States dollars, you can win from 4,000 Liberian dollars up to 10,000 Liberian dollars. And for $200 Liberian dollars or $1 United States dollar on Japa days, you can win from 15,000 Liberian dollars, 50,000 Liberian dollars, 100,000 Liberian dollars, and up to 1 million Liberian dollars. For these amazing prizes, dial *255*1#. Again, dial *255*1#. The more you play, the better your chances. It's Win Liberia Cash Giveaway on Freedom FM.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime and report it, don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see you must talk it, I mean you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia.
Thank you so much, Omen Sam Sion. Let's run into our Facebook live feed. Oh, too many of you tonight. Welcome to the show. Invite others, more people to follow. We're talking capital building. The investigative report is out. Finally, we have received copy, and so we're going into the report tonight as a way of ending the week. Manwata BDT, James Lamin, welcome to the show. Hilton Willard Jido from Greenville in Sino County, welcome to the show. Delvin Dopo is joining us tonight from Ganta City. Crafty is joining the show tonight. From Rehab, Morris Cordy is joining the show tonight from Graceland Community, Mount Barkley. And Sue Famula from Broadview, Ezekiel Weyakodi from Jacobstown, Agatha Glasgow is joining tonight from Tinkers Village. Tibasi Yonton is joining tonight from Stephen Torbert, and Antoinette Anderson is watching tonight. Success is watching tonight. Stephen A. Bass is watching tonight from Dakar, Senegal. Vanja Cody, welcome to the show, baby girl. Johnson Khan is following tonight from ELWAC. Liki Traore has joined the show. Stephen Yakadi is joining tonight from Lower Margibi County. Welcome to the show, all of you. Abraham Kuma is joining tonight from Bannersville Estate. Venetius Junior Bar from New Town Christian Segbe from district number 15. Okay. Jim Smith is joining tonight from ELWA Junction. Intelligence Bureau is following the show tonight from Claratown. Mohammed Ballo from Broadville. Asata Miller is joining tonight from Soul Clinic. As always, Boji Medic is joining tonight from Banga City, there in Bonk County. Honorable Wilmot Lee McCritty is joining tonight. Mary Tooley, welcome to the show from New Georgia Estate. Velma McIntosh Clark from Norway. J. Edwin Saki is following. Jacob Tia is following. The Nathan Jabadia is joining tonight from Greenville City. Alaska Pay from India. Henry Cole Masale from Grand Cape Mount. J.D. Williams, Honorable from Johnsonville. Christina Doe is joining tonight. DRT Toba is joining tonight from Omega Market. Molly Bakoma from Tiampo. Crankui is joining tonight. Juji Wonwe from Johnsonville. Grace George Flomo from Satan on Hotel Africa Road. Wilmot Lee, yes, welcome to the show. Dennis Saliv, welcome to the show. Nessia Dawon is following tonight from Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S. Christopher D. Allen is joining tonight from Broadville Testimony. John J. Bisi is joining tonight from Fender Community. Mohammed Kamara from Thailand. Welcome all of you to the show tonight. It's good to have all of you following tonight and joining the platform. Claudie Addison is joining us tonight from Delaware in the USA. Kelly, yesterday was a technical issue. We had electrical issues here yesterday. You know, we started the show and all of that, and then the current just started misbehaving. So we just could not continue the show. But welcome. It's good to be back. Waterbow man has joined us. Christian, yes, welcome, and welcome to the show. Kindness County, Abu Bakar Sharif, okay, Mohammed Sharif, Brenny C, welcome to the show, all of you. Ibrahim Kamara, oh baby boy, Fala Bori from Doe Community, Mahadina Brown is watching from the USA. T. Cornelius is following tonight from Alaska. J. Augustus Help is joining tonight. All of you, welcome to the show. Ambassador Samula, it's been a while. Man, you gotta hit me up. We have not spoken for a while. You have to hit me up. Let's talk, bro. We need to talk. Dominica Wea is joining tonight from Broadville. Marvis, what happened to Freedom FM people tonight? All of y'all watch. Marvis Dagbe is joining the show tonight. William Masakwe, welcome to the show from Pennsylvania in the US. Lucia Yanti is joining tonight. Benu Kamara is joining tonight as well. Emmanuel Richardson, Ibrahim, all of you, welcome to the show. Welcome, Ibrahim C. Abdul Karim Kane is following. Randa Morris is joining. All of you, it's good to have all of you. Dennis Salif, all of you, welcome to the show. Harris Kamara. Let's move into the report. The report is huge, so we have to go into the details of the report. And all of you want to know what is in that one report that the government been having. Juicy things in the report that they've been having, and so we catch it, we check it, and thanks to my colleague Mark Gilman, we're in partnership with the Digging Deeper people there, the Digging Deeper man. So thanks to him for the partnership and all of that. So with his hard work investigative skills and tactics and techniques and connection. Yes, we're able to get a copy of this. I should give him that credit. So, folks, let's move on to our different discussion. Remember, we told you on Monday. On Monday we announced that there is a rape case involving a deputy minister at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, but we told you we did not have detail and bonus on people's character, and so we did not want to run into discussing this matter until we can lay our hands on some facts and get confirmation. So now that the state has confirmed that yes, it is true that the deputy minister at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, but there's a release that from the Ministry of Youth and Sports that came out just as I was getting prepared for my show. They sent me this release, and so let me pull this release. Let me pull it out, zoom it to have a clearer view. Okay. So they said immediate release the Ministry of Youth and Sports on allegations of sexual misconduct involving J. Brian McGill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development. Imagine the man is Deputy for Youth Development. The man is destroying the youth instead of developing the youth. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has been officially informed by the Liberia National Police of a serious allegation of sexual misconduct involving a minor against. Don't put on. You still put it honorable to the man name in a kind of situation. Hey man, you still calling the man honorable. What kind of against J. Brian McGill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development, a claim that Minister McGill has denied. The matter reported to the police by the alleged victim's father, Mr. Christopher Davis, has understandably raised grave concerns. The ministry acknowledges that both the deputy minister and the alleged victim's father are employees of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness as they center on the fundamental principles of justice, integrity, and the safety of our citizens, particularly young people. The ministry will remain in close communication with the Liberia National Police as their investigation unfolds and reaffirms its full commitment to cooperating with law enforcement to ensure a thorough, impartial, and transparent process. To ensure the investigation proceeds without any perception of influence, the ministry has accepted and is forwarding to the Office of the President J. Bryant McGill's request for a leave of absence effective immediately until the matter is resolved. The ministry reaffirms its commitment to upholding the law, safeguarding the integrity of public service, and protecting the well-being of all individuals, especially the youth we serve. We urge the public and the media to allow the Liberia National Police to conduct their investigation without interference. The ministry will provide further updates as new information becomes available. Signed, Division of Public Affairs at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So that's it, folks. I don't have any position on this for now, but I think rape, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, all of these actions are unacceptable in our society. Real men don't rape. Real men are not supposed to rape. Hey, that's the least thing a gentleman's supposed to do, man. Hey, you know. But anyway, let's wait for the investigation and see how it plays. We're receiving different reports. I got called up that that there were negotiations ongoing behind the scenes to have the family compromise this matter, all of police settlement and all of that. Whatever the case is, the statement says that the minister has denied the allegation. So it means the police has to investigate. There has to be medical examination as well. So all of the different examinations will have to be carried out because hey, the message denied him. So it is possible you could even establish that the girl is raped or she was raped, but we have to establish who did the act or who committed the act because the man is saying deny him. So even if we establish that she was raped or sexually harassed, he's saying deny him. So we will see who did it, who committed the act. But the girl is insisting that he's the one. The story is told that this is not the first attempt from the minister, and but that's it. Let's watch the process and see how it plays. So our boy KOK, my booty. Today is his birthday, and we'd like to say happy birthday to you again, my dear brother. I know you are celebrating. You are enjoying this birthday. That one I can confirm. I can confirm that KOK is enjoying this birthday. I know what I'm talking. The man is enjoying this birthday. So when I say he's enjoying his birthday, it comes once in a year. So this infill and health ministry thing is getting serious. Let me read for you what the Ministry of Health released on yesterday. It's a long piece. It's a 3-page document, but I'll just read the caption. So the Ministry of Health, it's captioned to all county health officers and county health teams, including Meriden, River G, Grand Gide, and Lima counties, from Louis M. Poto, MD, MPH, MMED, OBGYN, PhD, FWAC, CCAC, RAC, ERU, PSU, everything there. Minister, subject, urgent guidance on suspected viral homogenic fever case. This September 10, yesterday. They said, dear colleagues, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the national, they said in collaboration. So you're listening. Dear colleagues, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, is investigating a suspected case of viral homogenic fever following the death of a passenger on board a vessel that was en route to Liberia. The patient presented with symptoms consistent with the VHF before passing away during the voyage. Immediate guidance to all county health teams, the quarantine team, and everything, put it there. Yeah, after yesterday, Enfield came out today with a release under the caption, no VHF detected as specimens tested negative. Let's read it. Let me zoom this one. Right, it's small. It said the National Public Health Institute of Liberia wishes to inform the public that the Enfield regularly and routinely conducts surveillance and laboratory tests for viral homogenic fever pathogens, which include Ebola virus and Marburg virus. To date, the 10th September 2025 at 21 hours, that's 9 o'clock, all specimens received and tested by the molecule PCR method at the National Reference Laboratory of the Enfield have demonstrated negative for Ebola and Marburg. This negative test result thereby rules out any of the indicated VHF infections in said biological specimens. In this regard, the public is hereby informed that the Enfield cannot confirm any suspected VHF case in Liberia as of today, 10th, September 2025. So the two statements were issued yesterday. Health Ministry issued their own yesterday. Then NFO issued theirs yesterday. Viral homogenic fevers are caused by many different viruses that are found in nature in animals. And the NFO is vigilant. The NFO acknowledges the general public and scientific community to remain calm and not to panic. So yes, we ended with this right there, but Health Ministry say the virus was here, the VHF virus was here, and everyone said no, that lie, nothing here. So the Health Ministry people want eat money. We buy we're not here for corruption thing. So that lie. Okay, so let's move on more in-house. So let's talk this cash thing, 10,000 thing quickly, and then we'll move on to this conversation to the report. Now, folks, I'm going to my phone for me to drill you through how to play, because tonight is my last edition for the show for this week on the radio. As I announced, every Thursday I want to give out $10,000. We reduce the amount from 25 to 10 because we want more people to win. So we've reduced that amount to 10. But just in case we cannot give 10, we will still give 5. But the target tonight is $10,000 for each winner. How to play? Take your phone, you dial *255*1#. Again, *255*1#. When you dial that code, you enter. On my phone, it's reading. 2 options have appeared before me. Option number 1 is asking me whether I want to play in Liberian dollars, $50. Option number 2 is asking me whether I want to play in US dollars, 25 cents. I want to play in Liberian dollars, so I enter number 1. Then I send. When I send, now they are asking me to enter my mobile money password. I'm not going to enter my mobile money password because I'm not qualified to play this game. But for those of you who are qualified and listening to me, you just enter your mobile money password. It's a bingo for you. Who knows? And our phones, our payments are done instantly. We don't call you to confirm before we pay. The moment we do the draw, the money goes automatically to your phone. You receive the alert probably before we even think about calling you, because I'm doing draws by 9:45, 15 minutes to 10. When we're taking calls, we'll be doing the draws. So the game has started. The referee has blown the whistle. You can start playing *255*1#. Folks, and to all of you, I have a message for past government officials and current officials of the government. You see, our country is not making progress. Our country is not going to make progress anytime soon because we have 4 years to go. Liberia's officials have this tendency that when they are in power, they actually play laissez-faire attitude, meaning they don't care. They care less about whether they are making progress or whether they are enhancing or imparting growth in the ministry or agency where they are appointed to serve the country. And they see service to the country, they see presidential appointment as service to the leader, service to the president. They don't see it as service to the state, service to the country, service to the people who elected, who voted the president. That's why many times these leaders come to power, they become ministers, deputy ministers, and directors, and managing directors, and commissioners, and board chairpersons, and presidents, and CEOs of the different places. They leave with little impact. When they leave tomorrow, they get broke or they start going broke, and then they start shifting blames on the appointing authority. the case with my good friend Zoga Wilson. But like I said, this conversation is not particularly about him. It's a general conversation because it's a circular problem. It's like it's in a circular flow. It's revolving. Government in, government out, officials in, officials out. When they are in power, the president is doing well. The president is performing. The president is supportive of the works they are doing at the different ministries and agencies. When they leave power, then they start to shift blame on the very president who they said were supportive of the works they were doing. You see that you see the deception we're trying to point out tonight, right? All our officials, it started with Solomon George, former representative, and all of that. Today is Zoga Wilson. Yesterday were all our officials in the UB government. Even Joseph Boaka is an actor. President Salif is a victim of this. When Joe Boaka was vice president for 12 unbroken years, 12 uninterrupted years, he was vice president to Eddie. He did not say anything wrong that Eddie was doing. He did not see any opportunity that was being squandered by those officials and the regime didn't honor the stewardship or the gavel of Eddie Johnson Sirleaf. The moment Eddie Johnson Sirleaf exhausted her two terms, Boaka developed political ambition. Boom. He became a race car pack. Boom. He started identifying or pointing out that they had opportunities and squandered those opportunities. Boom. He said he was not contesting on Eddie's legacy. Deception. And this is why our country has never grown. This is why our country is not going to grow anytime soon. Because we are deceptive to the people. Our lip service. Today, you see all the rescue people. I mean, we can say rescue puppets and charlatans. You see all of them, they are celebrating Joe Boaka today. Today, Boaka is good. Today, Boaka is supportive of the work they're doing at the different ministries and agencies and entities. Tomorrow, you will hear some of them, you will see some of them sprinkling out and telling us that President Boaka had many opportunities, but he was not listening. People around him were fooling him. People around him were telling him, were suppressing their agendas. They will start telling him how they were making recommendations and suggestions to Joe Boaka, and Boaka was not listening to those recommendations and suggestions, and that people in the executive mansion were stepping on those suggestions and recommendations and those policies that they developed. But today, we are not hearing about any policy that they are developing or they have developed to submit to Joe Boaka. We are not hearing them talking about any conversation or any recommendations or suggestions that they are making to Joe Boaka. When they leave power tomorrow, the blames shift to Joe Boaka. Today, George Weah is the victim. Yesterday, Eddie was the victim. Her vice president said to us that he was not contesting or running on Eddie's legacy. Her vice president said to us, Joe Boaka, the president today, he said to us then that they have many opportunities to reform the country, to change the country, to take all these young people from CDC, from beyond George Weah and all of that, but they squander those opportunities. He's president today. How is he transforming those opportunities into prosperity for our young people? How? All the trips he's making. What benefits? What are the returns from those trips? What is he doing different or better than Eddie? What is he doing better or different than George Weah? Tomorrow, Jeremiah will come and say he was not given a chance. People were fighting him and all of that. I will use those who I know as my friends as reference. Tomorrow, Mo Ali will come and say, "Oh, we developed our water policy, but people in the executive mansion were stepping on it." Emoto will come to mind and say, oh yeah, we had to do this, but Greg Como will come to mind and say, police uniform, we put in for police uniforms on many occasions, but we didn't get them. We recommended to Kafan to increase police salaries from 150 to 200. 6 years, they didn't listen to us and they didn't do it. But we've seen that the influence, we've seen the level of influence. We know that Mo Ali enjoys huge influence and connection and support in the executive mansion. We know that Amos has the political support from Joe Barker. We know that Gregory Cuomo has the political will and support from Joe Barker. We know that Barker has Gregory Cuomo has Barker's ear. So they have access, or he not access to Joe Barker. We need to see the reforms that are taking place. I'm not talking about political engagements or political actions. I'm not talking about putting police in arms to go and demolish CDC headquarters. I'm talking about Gregor Cuomo wearing a uniform and putting those same armed men behind him that he sent to CDC headquarters and marched to the Ministry of Finance for a strategic meeting to ensure that their salaries are increased from $150 or $120 to $200 or $300. They are not having these conversations today. They are not having these conversations. When they leave power tomorrow, they all start to shift the blames on Joe Barker as the president. That is why some of us, you see, we had to target government officials. We target Joe Barker. This is the reason. Because we have to beat census in his own score for him to realize that tomorrow, when he's no longer in power, these people who he calls his ministers and managing directors and inspector generals around here, they will all start to shift blames on him. Things that they are not even doing, they will start shifting blame that they were doing it, and people were suppressing these things in the executive mansion, lying on executive mansion or Diamond structure, or Lion EPS Diamond structure. That's what they will start doing tomorrow. Oh, they didn't have access. Today we are seeing that they're having access. Today we are seeing them defending Joe Barker. Today we are seeing everybody, all the ministers, all the heads of entities, you call them to a hearing, to a public engagement. They will say, let me appreciate the president for all the support. There is no government official in this country that begins a public presentation without appreciating Joe Barker for his support. Tomorrow, when Barker is no more president, which is obvious that he will not be president, then they will start saying they will forget that they were appreciating Joe Barker for his support at all of their public engagements. The symbol today, Zoga Wilson has forgotten that all his public engagements, he appreciated George Weah for his support. We thank the president for the level of support. We thank the president for his level of support. The president has been very supportive of our work. Today, my good friend Zoga Wilson say they had all the opportunities. All the football players and team were around. And they didn't set a strong foundation. They didn't build a strong program for football. The people from the FSA know that lie. We agree. Because if we agree, Mustafa Raji should not be president. If we agree to what Zoga was saying, that the country we did not develop programs for sports, it means Mustafa Raji feel he should not be president. And Kasia Kona has to take this statement and start looking into it and running with it as a good campaign message for him. Look, even Edwin Snow, as former president, has acknowledged that the leadership of Mustafa Raji, which did not work in isolation of the Liberian government or in isolation of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, is the best when it comes to sports development. All our former players have all acknowledged that. You talk to Snotty Lamford, you talk to James Diba, you talk to former coaches, K2 Smith, they will tell you, yes, it is not better, but Raji has had better sports programs than any LFA president in our country. Musa Bedete, former LFA president, has admitted to that. Edwin Snow, former FA president, has admitted to that. How come our former Minister of Youth and Sports is saying the contrary? Because to say that the country under George Weah did not set a strong foundation for sports programs, you are telling us that Mustafa Raji failed. You getting the logic? You are telling us that Mustafa Raji failed. But we see all the fourth division teams, third division teams, most of the players, the sports journalists, they are all reporting that football improved, upgraded under Mustafa Raji. George Weah did not have to be LFA president, but they got the support from the government. The government did not fight Mustafa Raji. His programs were never, yes, there were not enough fundings to effectively implement all of the programs, but the programs are working effectively. They work effectively and they're working. If there are specific challenges that we can talk about, maybe when it comes to youth development, yes, I have to believe that little was done when it comes to youth development. I have to believe that. But to say we did not develop a strong program or strong programs for sports, I disagreed. And even Raji, you take microphone to Raji and tell him nothing, Raji will tell you that lie. I was president when George Weah was president for the country. How can you tell us that we didn't develop programs for sports? Speak to former players, they will tell you no. This statement is unrealistic. From the accession from Zoga Wesi is unrealistic. But I have issue with people beating on Zoga and insulting him and all of that. For me, I have issue with that. Hey, whether you like it or not, Zoga remains a friend to George Weah. The same way Zoga can muster the courage to criticize a particular program under his friend's government or a friend's regime, we too should muster that courage to disagree with him instead of insulting him. The insult will not change his perception or his mindset, but our engagement with the facts, our engagement backed by facts, will dissolve and neutralize that whole debate and any potential threat that may have informed the assertions from Zoga Wesi against the regime of George Weah. I don't want to see his criticism as a George Weah thing. No. For me, I don't see his criticism as a George Weah thing or as an attack against George Weah. Because George Weah was president. He has lieutenants. He has finance minister. He has youth and sports minister. So it can be George Weah. What did Zoga Wesi do? What was his relationship with the LFA? What did he advance for sports? Basketball, for example. Football, for example. Volleyball. Tennis. Whether it's table tennis or long tennis. What did he do? What are the programs that were developed by Zoga Wesi as Minister of Youth and Sports, along with the FA? Mind you, the FA is only responsible for the LFA is responsible for soccer, football, whether it's women football, youth football, or adults football. Yes, the LFA has restriction only for football. The rest of the other sports have federations. Basketball federation, the tennis federation, the taekwondo federation, the karate federation, all the different federations. They have them. And they all, I'm sure they all have their own programs. Restricting, I'm sure Zoga Wesi spoke in the context or in the confines of football, soccer. If it is soccer, then no, Zoga, I respectfully disagree. Football developed under George Weah. It's under George Weah. It was under George Weah that we saw scouts coming to this country and scouting our players with the support and wild work of Mustafa Raji. We saw scouts coming here. We saw scouts coming here to scout our players. Our leagues, our different leagues started advancing. Promotion of our leagues increased. Marketing increased, improved. The marketing of our league improved. Our league upgraded as well. We have Premier League, Premiership. Now we don't have any Premier League, Premiership team or Premier team. Our league upgraded to the first league now, the first division. No more Premier team. first division, second division, third division, all of that. At the national team level, all of our youth programs are active. All of our youth programs became active, and they are still active as we speak on Raji. Yet they are challenged, but they are still active. Because I too have players that are playing at the different levels. Yes. So I know how strong and reliable our youth programs, football programs are, how they look like. So if you talk to former players, they will tell you no, maybe Zoga made political statement, but they say football did not improve, or we didn't develop reliable football programs during the George Weah regime. No, maybe there were not enough fundings, pumped into those programs to have them expanded. But hey, there were enough programs developed for soccer under George Weah. Sports generally, yes, I agree, because I know basketball decline. I can see that basketball decline. The leadership is still in crisis. Yes, those other federations, but I mean, so that's why I said this has to be a general conversation. Zoga is not the only person. He's not the only person. There are people today who work in the CDC government and they believe that George Weah was not listening. One minister said one time in one gathering that he was minister and he did not have the opportunity to meet George Weah. Then somebody said, "But Babe, don't give her a hard time. Why are you saying this now? All of the public engagements that you were going to as minister, you were informing the public that the president has been supportive of your work. You were informing the public of the different policies different policy reforms that you were carrying out at the ministry with the approval and the knowledge of the president. How come you coming out today to tell us in the absence of the president? I mean, in the absence of the president, in the absence of the public, that the president did not give you audience? For 6 years, you were minister. The president did not give you audience, and you did not say it. For 6 years, you were making public statements and praising the president and appreciating the president. You didn't resign because you did not need a job. If you did not get support from the president or you did not get access to the president, you resign. And you attempted to get access to the president and he did not give you access, you resign. Look, if you give me a job, which I would not take in any government, and I realize that my boss is not supportive, I step aside. Some of these people that greed can keep them in positions that they're not comfortable, they don't feel comfortable in. You in a greed. People want to amass wealth on government's money. So they prefer staying there on strenuous situations and keep praising, faking things, pretending like all is well because they are benefiting individually, forgetting about the people they are supposed to serve. When they leave, the government tenure expires, then they start coming up becoming sins. They start springing out, playing sins, adding their sins. They start adding their sins, and there are no sins. And this thing is destroying our country. This thing is going to destroy our country. This sycophantic and deceptive way of behaving in public service is wrong. You don't want to serve because you're not comfortable. You resign. You step aside. If you introduce a policy and the policy fail, or the policy is not endorsed by cabinet, or the policy is not working, you resign or you step aside. You saw in France, the prime minister, what happened? Introduced a new financial policy to cut spending, cut public spending. The members of parliament said we can pass the budget. In fact, just because of that, we're going for a vote of no confidence in you. If you can bring a reasonable budget for us to approve. He said, no, I will not bring a reasonable budget for you to approve. In my mind, to run this government, this is the most reasonable budget for us to cut on public spending. Member of parliament said, no, we can't cut on public spending. We have one holiday that they can celebrate 2 times a year. Prime Minister said we want to celebrate one time a year and we'll cut spending on it. They said no. If you can't take anything in the budget, we'll not pass it. He said, if you can pass it, I will not take it from the budget. They went back and forth. The man said, but say you can take it from the budget, we'll file a vote on no confidence in you, so you can leave our government. We elect new prime minister. And the man said, no problem, y'all go and take your votes. But remember, taking the vote is not a solution to the problem. Because you may have the power to file a vote of no confidence in me, but you do not have the power. You do not have the power to stop our debts from increasing. We need the policy, an aggressive policy that will stop our debts from increasing and help to service our debt. So removing me is not a solution. So this is the problem of our country. Other people taking action, stepping aside, they're resigning to allow the government to flow. Some of us will stay there, milk enough. When we leave tomorrow, the government tenure expires, then we start talking, we become sin. And I see people running around with Sugar wasting statement from the Unity Party. I laugh. People who leave from inside to go and criticize after they shall have benefited. Those are people, those are individuals to be careful with. Because if that man can leave CDC and criticize CDC because UP is in power, hey, that man UP will not stay in power forever. So that man can also leave UP tonight and criticize them tomorrow. Hey, that's a reality. Then our reasonable thoughts come in. Is this criticism realistic? How realistic it is? Why is he speaking now? Okay, I couldn't speak because our minister. Why did he now resign? Did anybody stop him from resigning? Was he under pressure working? Did he have issue with his deputies? Look, we have to be wise. And the problem, the biggest disaster in this country are the followers. The followers are a serious problem for politicians in this country. We celebrate and cheer everything, anything that comes from politicians, we celebrate and cheer. We don't chastise or checkmate or evaluate statements coming from people who were ISA. Zoga Wilson was here for 12 years, 6 years as Minister of Sports. You saw his connection with the president. You saw his interaction with the president. You saw his affiliation with the president. You saw his relationship with the FA boss. Should Zoga come out today and tell you, say, they have an opportunity to have developed programs, develop strong programs for sports, but they didn't do it. They are all the football people, they didn't do it. And you believe it? And you won't believe it? Don't believe it. Also, you seditious and supporters of WIA, don't get angry too and start insulting the man. Engage the man intellectually on the facts. You don't have to insult the man. Because trust me, Soka Wilson is going nowhere. That man will still come out of support CDC 2029. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. That man will come back to support CDC. As a matter of fact, he has not left. There's no record to show that he left. Probably, he has some junior, when our boyfriend travel or that boyfriend go for study somewhere, or that boyfriend is not around, they want to dress sexy, to attract other men, to make, all that kind of thing. They want to flaunt around. They get supposed to say, my man, I don't have to impress anybody. I'm maintaining my level. But so many, they are unable to maintain their level now. So start teaching a dress code because I'm husband or that boyfriend not around. To start acting sexy, teaching and walking and all of that, just to attract other men. So maybe what is Zoga doing now? The man acting sexy even Bwaka. Bwaka is a new man in town now. So all you getting Solomon George, beautiful Solomon George, beautiful Candio, beautiful Zoga. They all have to start wearing that sexy clothes, acting sexy even Bwaka, to make themselves attractive to Bwaka. So I beg you on behalf of Zoga. You can disagree with me, but you ain't got to insult him. Let's go to the report, folks. It's time to talk politics. This is pure politics. This is not rule of law. This is not security matter. This is not policing. This is pure politics. The government politicized an incident that many of us believe was carried out by the members of the majority bloc under the instruction of Samuel Koga. Many of us believe that the burning of the Capitol building was a trap because it was a strategy, it was a conspiracy. Because many believe that, hey, it is the minority bloc that is angry with the majority bloc. The majority bloc is using the John Chima. The majority bloc is giving unhindered access to the building. The majority bloc is using the John Chima. The majority bloc is giving unhindered access to the building. So their strategy and calculation was that let's burn that place. Attention will be shifted towards the minority bloc. That was the calculation. But the majority bloc, they got access to the building. They are giving unhindered access. They are being protected in the building. We minority, we are being denied. So the men in the majority say, we bring the building, we shift the building on Kofa, we incriminate them, indict them, and prosecute them. They're our track cash. It will be difficult to deny because they are the ones angry. They are the ones aggrieved. So any damage to the building, the public will believe that those who are aggrieved are the ones who bring the building. That's how the guys went ahead to bring Capitol building. It's a conspiracy. Let's go into the report. Let's go into the report. See what the report is saying here. Let's go into the report. Okay. So let me see how this platform is performing. Those of you who say we're paying $10,000, play the cash giveaway. We are about to go into the report. 9:45, we're doing jaws and taking calls. So let me see. We say we're paying you $10,000 tonight to each of our winners. Yes. We already have some qualified people. We already have some people qualified to win money tonight. So yes. So keep playing. 9:45, we'll move straight into doing jaws. I'm very sure that we give, if that one person from the transaction here, I'm sure if that even one person, I will give them $10,000. I'm very sure if that one person. So it means keep playing star 255 star 1 hash to play. Let's move. Let's pay people money for the weekend tomorrow. Let's go to our conversation. Let's go for the report and see what's in the report. Interesting report. Joseph Boakai is exposed. So those of you watching, you see the caption? I'll read a caption for you. Independent fire investigation report concerning the fire on December 18, 2024 in the Liberia Capitol building, presented by Fire Rescue Alliance. That's the group name that the government or the police, Gregory Coleman, hired to come and do the investigation after their so-called investigation. Let's go. I will skip page 2 because page 2 is basically introducing the fire investigators. Jerry Stretch, Mark Laddy, and Ken Pennerman. I'm not interested in that. So you see page 3 of the report says the property considers the property, the incident, the investigation status, and all of that. There's an interesting one that I'm going to read. So the incident that the Rescue Fire Alliance was investigating is incendiary. Or someone says incendiary. Incendiary is basically saying the fire on Capitol building was staged. It was organized. It was put together. So people sat down and organized the burning of Capitol building. So this is what the Fire Rescue Alliance was brought in to investigate, to confirm or establish that people actually burned the building. But listen to what they found. Now, the investigation status begins the interesting aspect of this discussion. According to the UP people who brought in the fire investigators, this is what the investigator said or found. Under the investigation status, it said December 18, 2024. The investigation handled exclusively by LMP and LNFS, meaning on December 18, when the fire incident broke out at the Capitol building, these investigators are telling you only the LMP and the Liberia National Fire Service handle the investigation on that day. From December 18, they said on February 28, 2025, they said the Fire Rescue Alliance investigators arrived in Monrovia. That how many months? The fire incident took place on December 18, 2024. From December 18 to January 18, that 1 month. January 18 to February 18th, that 2 months. February 18 to February 28th, that 2 weeks. So 2 months, 2 weeks. The government established on the 18th, after December 18th, on that same day, Joe Baca spoke at the Capitol building and said it was arson, right? He said people bring the building, right? On December 18th, that same day, the same morning, Baca went Capitol building and announced that people bring the building, right? So keep that at the back of your mind. After Baca said that, police people, fire service people, they said the day investigation and they established that was arson. When we started causing noise, hey, it can be arson. The investigation is compromised. We don't trust the police. The fire service does not have the capacity, the technical capacity to do the work. They argue with us. The men come and confirm that fire service didn't get right capacity to do the work. They argue. Because we pressure them, they were compelled to go America and bring an independent fire investigative firm to come and verify. But the verification is interesting, folks. And you have to listen. So on the 1st of March, the briefing with law enforcement officers, briefing with law enforcement, Fire Rescue Alliance investigators begin SAT evaluation on March 1. Government finished confirming that human being that Fonatine bring a building. Rescue Fire Alliance for America began that interaction with law enforcement on March 1. On the 2nd of March, according to this investigation, they said the Fire Rescue Alliance continues SAT evaluation. Fire Rescue Alliance completes SAT evaluation. Fire Rescue Alliance package physical evidence. Fire Rescue Alliance transfers evidence to LMP at 12 o'clock p.m. 12 for the 8 p.m. Fire Rescue Alliance turns building over to jurisdiction, meaning the government of Liberia. This means the Fire Rescue Alliance took less than 1 day, because they did all the investigation from in the morning to 12:48 p.m. or to 11, because they said they compile everything and turn over their findings or their evidence to the LMP by 12:48 p.m. in the afternoon. So it means they took less than 4 hours to do everything, gather everything, do assessment, run forensic, and compile a report and submit to the LMP. 1 day. On the 4th of March, they said, the Fire Rescue Alliance said they closed the investigation. We skip page 3. Let's go to the next page. The synopsis of the investigation, property description. I'm not interested in this. We skip. This is an interesting portion that we need to spend time on. The background. Because there are observations in the background. Narrative report. The background. As stated above, on the morning of December 18, 2024, the joint chamber of Congress in the Liberia Capitol building was reported to be on fire. Due to the firefighting challenges, equipment, personnel, water supply, notification, the fire caused extensive damage, reportedly, professional people are speaking, because they're quoting government of Liberia, reportedly exceeding 1.8 million US dollars. During firefighting effort, listen to them. During firefighting effort, law enforcement received credible information suggesting that the fire may have been intentionally set. And the government finished confirming that they confirmed the investigation and confirmed that our arson. When the investigators came, they didn't tell the people that they did investigation and confirmed our arson. They told the investigators that they were informed, or that they received information that suggested that the fire may have been intentionally set. You see deception? On the 18th of December, Joe Biden already told all of us in the world that Fonantine burned the building. Gregory Como, LNP, and Westle Bofa Fire Service said they did investigation and established arson, meaning people burned the building. When we pressured them and they called the fire investigators from the states, they told the fire investigators that they received information. They didn't tell them they did investigation and here are their findings from the investigation. They told the investigators that they were informed that they received information that suggested that the building may have been burned by individual or may have been intentionally set ablaze. First contradiction that the courts are not aware of. First contradiction that the courts are not aware of. The police said on the 18th, President Barker said that arson, the building will burn. The fire investigators, fire service, and the police said they investigated and they established that the building will burn. And they have arrested individuals. Every suicide they were arrested. They said they were arrested in connection to the fire. The thing. Before this investigative firm was brought into the country. The investigative firm is saying in the narrative, in the background, that the police informed them that the police and the fire service received credible information suggesting that the building may have been intentionally set ablaze. You see how the guys have been deceiving us? Let's go into the report, folks. We call that point. Let's go into the report. They didn't stop there. They said, may have been intentionally set. So they said, given the potential national implications, the national police moved quickly to investigate that possibility. That's it. They went to investigate that possibility. As a result, two independent but related investigations began. One, the Liberia National Fire Service began to assess the scene for cause and origin after Braga said that arson. The Liberia National Fire Service started assessing the scene for cause and origin to establish the cause of the fire and the origin of the fire, meaning where the fire started from. But the person already said people burn the building. Huh? So the fire service people say they want to establish the cause of it and where it started from. The Liberia National Police began to assess motive and follow leads on potential suspects. Right? Let's continue. Shortly after the fire, the Liberia National Fire Service declared it an arson. Eh? That's what the people telling you. The people say shortly after the fire, the Liberia National Fire Service declared it an arson. But actually, it was not the fire service, it was the president. So the fire service had to say the same thing. However, listen, shortly after the fire, the Liberia National Fire Service declared it an arson. However, this conclusion was based on outdated methods. I told you all the report got juicy things. Your core people who can't follow the report here. The report here. We have the report. Let's read. I'm taking my time because I want to act like a teacher tonight. I want to talk for you all to understand. So let's take our time. The report says shortly after the fire, the Liberia National Fire Service declared it an arson. But for us, we observe. He said, however, the conclusion from the fire service was based on outdated methods. What are the outdated? When they say outdated methods, meaning methods that are old age, prehistoric, methods that firefighters are not using anymore to establish cause of fire. They're saying that the method the Liberia National Fire Service used. What are some of the methods? For example, they say assessing smoke color. They just stand up. They just stand, look at the smoke color. This smoke here looking blue. This smoke here looking gray. This smoke looking black. They find out this smoke a black, a blue. It mean that acid they use, it mean they use gas. But there are other explosives that people can use that do not contain gas that can spark blue smoke. Now in modern day. So you can't not because age 81. Not because 81 years ago, our firefighter used to just stand up. They look at the color of the smoke and they determine whether that gas was used to burn the building, to cause the fire. The investigators at Gregory Coleman brought in the country is saying to us, no, that is an outdated method. You can't be in the 21st century and be using smoke color. Just look at the color of the smoke and conclude that it's arson. The many boy report. So the guy said this conclusion was based on outdated methods, such as assessing smoke color rather than current forensic standards or best practices. You know who the boy in the report again. So the many borehole in the police and the fire service investigation. That's why they didn't release the report. Let's continue. Shortly, let me read it again. However, this conclusion was based on outdated methods, such as assessing smoke color rather than current forensic standards or best practices. Unaware of the weak foundation of this determination, unaware of the men coming insult Gregory Coleman intelligently in the piece. This is the insult. Unaware of the weak foundation of this determination, both the Inspector General, who was present at the scene, and the President of Liberia repeated the arson determination publicly, which was then broadcast across all media. You hear the insult, the intelligent insult? What he's saying is that other fire service people went and just stood up and look at the smoke, the color. We call it a blue smoke. Okay. They found out a blue smoke, it means an arson. The fire investigators that Gregory Coleman brought in the country, they are saying Gregory Coleman was unaware. That means they're not an error. He has no knowledge about fire investigation, right? Joe Bagatu has no knowledge about fire investigation. So the two of them rely on the outdated method that was used by the Liberia National Fire Service and went publicly to announce that the cause of the fire on the Capitol building was arson. Meaning people burned the building. That's what the investigators are saying in this report. Greg Como is not a fire investigator. Joe Braga is nothing. He claims to be an agriculturist. So the two of them, unaware, meaning they're ignorant. The two of them are ignorant to fire investigation. They do not have capacity to establish cause of fire. The two of them went public to announce that the cause of the fire was arson. But their reliance was on the outdated investigation or outdated approach or method that was used by the OH fire director to determine the cause of the fire. And say everybody in the country, including media institutions and all, they ran with it and published it. Say that as only us were telling you, hey, the fire service does not have the technical capacity to determine the cause of that fire. Only some of us were on the radio saying that. Most of the media people carry ran with it. There, yeah. The investigator, they went to America and Brian. They said no. Do you also know that the Americans, that the government went to the Americans, went to the U.S. Embassy and asked the U.S. Embassy to aid them in investigating the cause of the fire, and the U.S. Embassy said, no, we can't do it. Y'all go find someone else. It's in a report. The U.S. Embassy refused to allow or partner with the government of Liberia to establish or to investigate the cause of the fire because the U.S. government knows that this matter is political, is politically motivated, and they did not want to get involved with our domestic politics. That's why they refused. It's in the report. Let's go there. Let's go. Let's go. We not finish the report today. We'll finish it on Monday. If the report not running away, we exhaust the report. Small. The report there from first period to sixth period. So we're not rushing it. First period to sixth period. We're not rushing it. We're on first period right now. We'll come on next week. We'll continue with first period. We're taking our time to exhaust the report. No rushing, Benny. Let's go. They said, given the pressure of the state development. So they said the crime scene which was covered in the rushing. So they said forensic standard for best practices. Only aware of the weak foundation of this determination, both the Inspector General, who was present at the scene, and the President of Liberia repeated the arson determination publicly, which was then broadcast across all media. Let's go on. Given the pressure of the situation and the complexity of the scene, national authorities committed to seeking international assistance to properly determine the fire's cause and origin. The crime scene, which was covered in building debris, has been secured day and night with armed and unarmed guards at access points beginning December 19, 2024. In the weeks following the fire, the LNP, with support from the U.S. Embassy, submitted a request to the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, but was unsuccessful. So the men ran to the U.S. Embassy, said, we're begging you. This is our request. Please submit our request to the U.S. government to please come here. Call our Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to come here and help us to do an independent verification. The person said, no, our henna is another political thing. That is pure political. We follow the entire matter from the Capitol building to the spotting of people cars, the intimidation of lawmakers, and then the disrespect to the Supreme Court is political. We're not putting our in Isa. So the fire people who they want to bring, who they brought here, put it in a report. It said in weeks following the fire, the LNP, with support from the U.S. Embassy, submitted a request to the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, but was unsuccessful. After multiple attempts, many players and they try. The person, y'all get off my face. Y'all get off our face. After multiple attempts, the LNP turned to Fire Rescue Alliance. So even the Fire Rescue Alliance that they brought from America, they are aware that the government, the LNP, on behalf of the government, made multiple attempts with the U.S. government through the U.S. embassy to bring people here to aid them in the investigation. And the people, the Americans, turned down their request. Ask them, the judge, the people, y'all need a report. Why do you think the Americans turn you down? Your whole capital building, we are traditional ally to America. Our capital building, that John Chimo is still is bearing the design, is just as the U.S. warehouse, our Congress. And they will yell at our building, Brendan. They will turn out, I will turn our requests and our multiple attempts to have them come here and aid us in investigation. They turn it down. Why do you think they turn you down? Because they're aware that it's political and the president already determined that an asshole. The president opened a mall. Fire service said they did investigation. They established the asshole. Then you tell yourself your rare American government through the U.S. embassy asking the people to come here and investigate. What did they come here and establish now when the president has already announced that the asshole? You think the Americans are stupid as some of you in government? They're not stupid. Just should have called the Americans first before announcing arson. But the president said it's an arson attack. The police inspector general emphasized and elevated that it was an arson attack on the Capitol building. Then they finished informing the world. BBC already finished carrying that the Capitol building was burned, that arson attack, and they have already arrested people. They were under investigation. Then they sit down and made a request to the U.S. government through the embassy to send their fire people here. That they suffer the train with taxpayers' money. They want the people to come here and can't do investigation. The first question is, suppose these people establish something contrary. We don't want to get involved in your illiterate behavior, so we'll not honor your request. So these fire investigators are aware, so they included it in the report. He said that's how they turned to them. After they were turned down, so they turned to the Rescue Fire Alliance, an organization with a trusted history in Liberia. A 3-person fire rescue alliance team arrived in the capital on February 28, 2025 to conduct an independent investigation. The team was tasked with a very narrow scope. This is the demo. The team was tasked with a very narrow scope of work, evaluating the fire scene for the purpose of determining the cause and origin to the extent possible. But mind you, every Susan were already arrested and being investigated. Joseph Barker had already announced arson. Fire service had already announced arson. Before on February 28th, the fire investigators arrived. So they're indicating these things. And they said that their work was restricted. They called the people and restricted their work. That's what they're indicating here. Their investigation included working within the room of origin, sifting through debris, evaluating potential causes, and concluding an opinion as to where the fire began, how the fire began, and what led to the rapid fire growth. But in fire service already said that arson, and Joe Barker already announced arson, and the police director had already elevated that it was arson. They have already arrested people. They were already investigating. They were already torturing Tom Etheridge. Then they come back now. They say the Rescue Fire Alliance now must investigate to establish where the fire began from, to establish where the fire began, how the fire began, and what led to the fire, to the rapid growth of the fire. But fire service didn't look at the color of the smoke and say that arson. Just getting the contradiction. Why the case will not go nowhere? Why would tell the case is political and compromise? You see why the state lawyer, the defense lawyers are calling on the judge or praying the judge to what the warning? To suppress some of the things they call evidence that they submitted to the defense lawyers. These are some of the reasons. But let's go in the report. The final opinion is based on training, experience, statements, scene evaluation, and evidence located at the scene. Important notes. Listen to these important notes. 1. Given the amount of time that has elapsed since the fire occurred, certain forms of evidence may have deteriorated. As such, a level they are lost or may not be collected. They may mess with the government. So this guy is saying the fire incident occurred on the 18th of December. They contacted us in February, 2 months after. And we arrived on the 28th of February. 2 months, 2 weeks after. The police are already doing investigation. Fire service doing investigation. They have arrested people, investigating people. Now, some of the things that are supposed to be evidence or used by the investigators, the independent investigators, they are saying that some of these things have depreciated or they have deteriorated, meaning they have lost value, they have lost form. If a debris is supposed to be the size of this bottle, because of the length of time, when something burn, it got smoke and ashes on it, so it will start depreciating. It will start, depreciating, losing form. It will start losing form. So it might get smaller. So all the edges and the different size, the different length, different corners of this object will have informed the fire investigators or giving them lead to maybe where the fire started from and all of that. Probably these were some of the debris came from the roof and it fell. If they were around on that day to do the investigation, they would have been able to establish some facts, some traces and everything to establish cause of the fire. But they're saying to you, because the time took too long, they came, some of what they were supposed to use or some of the debris they were supposed to use as evidence to carry on their investigation were already deteriorated. They are lost form. That's what they're saying. They are already lost form. So they could not do an extensive evaluation or assessment of their work. That's what they're saying. Let's go. And not only that, they could not do physical evaluation, but they could not collect them because they have already deteriorated. But they needed high substances to run their evaluation or their forensic test. But you can't see these are already deteriorated. They into arches. We just see that as a bono here. As you put your hand there, are arches. You can't collect them. They already temporarily deteriorated. That's what they're saying. The second note, they said Fire Rescue Alliance has not been engaged for the purpose of assessing the Liberia National Fire Service, although it has done so in the past. Further, Fire Rescue Alliance has also not been engaged, nor does it have the expertise to evaluate the law enforcement component of the investigation and or the prosecutorial aspects related to the fire. You don't prosecute, we get that capacity to determine whether what we establish is criminal or is not criminal. We get that capacity. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, we first people stay on. The report is exhaustive and we'll go there. Number 3, they said after spending considerable time inside the chamber, it is our professional opinion that the SAT remain closed as the scene represents serious safety issues in the form of falling debris, trap hazards, ongoing inhalation issues related to the steering of debris, and potentially the risk of collapse. Prince Moi announced that the government needs 1.8 million to renovate. These investigators are suggesting that the building remain closed because the building is the building may potentially collapse. Where the Prince Moi get his 1.8 million from? What informed that 1.8 million? When the very independent investigators are suggesting that the building remain closed because it may potentially collapse. Building that may potentially collapse can be renovated or should not be renovated. It should be rebuilt. So how come the government choose Primoy announce 1.8 million as the worth or the value of the loss? The value of the loss of the building, the value of the damage of the building, 1.8. The government says that 1.8 to Prince Moi. These investigators are telling you, hey, you close that place. The building could collapse. A collapsing building or a building that could potentially collapse cannot be 1.8 million as in the Capitol building. Who made that determination? You see what we told you, that the whole thing was staged? We end on the approach. And all I want to hear, the initial incident briefing, the findings, everything. No, we said that first period, no dear. Monday will come out of school. We continue with second period. Second period will summarize it, run to the observations and the findings. We'll close it. If we not set it far, we'll run third period on Tuesday. Eh? Listen. The approach. The investigation was conducted pursuant to industry best practices where possible. The team was hampered. Listen, they both stating all the observations and challenges. The team was hampered in the collection and evaluation of physical evidence due to the following reasons. They both say, okay, do our work, but we're challenged, we're hampered, we're disturbed. We didn't have the free space to work. He said, one, the time. They gave them less time to work. That the first issue the investigators are raising. One is that they were giving lesser time to work. He said, our involvement to initiate a quick origin and cause investigation was delayed. Listen, time. The first issue, time. Our involvement to initiate a quick origin and cause the origin of the fire and the cause of the fire investigation was delayed. Who delayed them? The government. How they delayed them? Listen. 2, they said the Republic has no access to a forensic laboratory or team trained in forensic fire analysis. Who did the investigation on the Capitol building? Gregor Como said the police did an extensive forensic investigation. They gathered evidence. What method the fire service use? These people are telling you, let me zoom in really good for you. These people are telling you, the UP people they brought, they are telling you, hey, I'm going to start running too fast. Start running fast. The Rescue Alliance Fire Alliance, is telling you that they were delayed and work was hampered for the following reasons. The first reason is that they were given less time to do their work. Because of that, our work was delayed. 2, they are telling you that the Republic has no access to a forensics laboratory or team trained in forensic fire analysis. So what kind of investigation the fire service did? What kind of investigation that the fire service did? That there are people, their own people they brought in are telling you that the fire service people have no capacity, no access to forensic laboratory, or there is no team at fire service trained in forensic fire analysis. Hey God, please help us as you've always done. On the very day the fire incidents took place, I was here telling you that fire service, I received intelligence from fire service that there is nobody in the country qualified. There is nobody at fire service qualified to do a forensic fire investigation. The whole country did not have. we see Kevin according to the show down there, disproving everything we're saying. Because for them, their heads are bent on the last from the UP people. This today they are confirming. Their own people they brought in to investigate are confirming. This is why the government did not want to release this report, because the report is damaging against them. The Republic has no access to forensic laboratory or the team or a team tree in forensic fire analysis. How did they arrive at Asan? This is simple for nothing. You need a report if I already have copy. This report is going to be helpful, extremely important, relevant to the case, to counter all that thing they call evidence. Number 3, they said there is no best practice or standard adopted in the country related to fire scene investigation or examinations. So how did these investigators arrive at ASO? There is no best practice or standard adopted in the country related to fire scene investigation or examination. How did they arrive at ASO? And putting people in jail and keeping them in jail and refusing to even release them on bail when they are entitled to bail. Then you want us to believe that this is not political. That's why the police were hiding this report. They didn't want the public to get copy of this report, because the report deaded them. The report exposed them. The report destroyed them and destroyed the entire case. 4, the Liberia National Fire Service lacks the training, experience, or requirement to properly collect and store evidence. Should I read that again, class? The Liberia National Fire Service lacks the training, the experience, or equipment to properly collect and store evidence. So what did they use to collect evidence before establishing or concluding that the building was burned by individuals? This is their own report we are using, not a manufactured report. Their own report that they were refusing to give to us because they knew had they published a report, it would have damaged the case and Fonatine would not have gone to jail. The intention was to put Fonatine in jail, finish, because they know they don't have evidence. See what the report is revealing? Liquidity, DeWitt, Nuvia, Alexander Monjolo, Samuel Hollywood, all of you, welcome. Kula Musu Davis, welcome. Wilson Kettle, welcome to the show. Austin Logger, welcome. My namesake. You see, you guys, you see what the report is revealing tonight? You see what the report is revealing? You see what the report is revealing? The Liberia National Fire Service lacks the training, experience, or equipment to properly collect and store evidence. What did they use to collect and store evidence when they lack the capacity according to their own experts that they brought here? They didn't stop that. They said initial reports from local agencies were not prepared for us upon arrival. Meaning, the fire service said they did an investigation and established that action. When the people came to the country, they say, can you share a copy of your report with us? When you get a report, the report ain't ready you. The report ain't ready you. But not just that. They said initial reports from local agencies were not prepared for us upon arrival. Not just that. Listen to the damning one. They said a criminal investigation was well established at the time of our arrival. However, the fire scene had not been examined. What? Look. You people, I can't stop here, man. I'm becoming speechless. And my tongue is all twisting. So I need some water. This is the report. On this one Capitol building fire incident thing, people could not hear in their ear. There's one Capitol building thing, people could not hear in their ear. Silas Giggs, Otello Zion, all of you, welcome to the show. Paul Jasper, welcome to the show. Mohammed Bangadi Dole. This is the one Capitol building case that people could not hear in their ear. They intimidated and humiliated fathers and brothers and sisters in this country. And parents, people's parents are still behind bars. Because of this conspiracy, this is a political conspiracy to incriminate and humiliate and damage or destroy people from the opposition. Only because you asked for say resign as speaker, he said no. Let's read. The Liberia National Fire Service lacks the training, experience, or equipment to properly collect and store evidence. Initial reports from local agencies were not prepared for us upon arrival. Fire Service report was not ready to share with the experts who they brought in. Then they said a criminal investigation was already well established, meaning the people called us to Liberia to come establish the cause of the fire. Before we even arrived in Liberia, the government of Liberia through the police had already arrested people, charged them for criminal investigation. They say, but the fire scene had not been examined. So the investigators that they brought saying, they put us to come investigate the scene, establish the cause of the fire. Before we even arrive on the scene, the government and the police are already arrested people. They were already investigating people. They are already investigating. They are already launched a criminal investigation already before we arrive. But the fire scene, had not been examined. So in short, they're telling you, they call to come examine. They call us to come establish the cause of the fire. We not even reach here. The police already arrest people. We not even examine the fire scene here. Examination had not even taken place. They are already arrested people and were investigating or carrying out a criminal investigation. They call, when I arrive, the crime scene or the fire scene had not been examined, but people were already arrested and being investigated for criminal conspiracy and arson and criminal attempt to commit murder and all of that. So criminal investigation was already being conducted before the Rescue Fire Alliance arrived in the country to commence examination. Examination, then they carry on testing, then conclusion. They are not even examining the crime scene. Individuals were arrested and being investigated for criminal offense. This is an exposure, folks. And they say a criminal investigation was well established, properly established. That's what they're saying. They say Greg then properly established a criminal investigation when they who were called to come and investigate and establish the cause of the fire had not even arrived in the country. They had not even examined the crime scene or the fire scene. A criminal investigation was well properly established. That's what they're saying. They may have dealing with him, man. What? I think we have to stop here. We have to take calls. I got carried. I thought my show was 3 hours. I got carried. So we're stopping tonight at the approach. The investigation was conducted pursuant to industry best practices where possible. The team was hampered in the collection and evaluation of physical evidence due to the following reasons. That's what we're stopping tonight, class. We're stopping here tonight. We shall return. Y'all pray if I get money tomorrow, I would inform the management to do the show tomorrow night. Yeah. Because I don't want to do the class thinking of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before Monday. Yeah, so when I get money tomorrow, before 12, I'll call Mr. Nimle or Oliver and them are doing a special edition of the show tonight, just for us to deal with this, to conclude on this aspect of the report, and then Monday will continue. So y'all pray, let me get money tomorrow. So we'll stop here tonight. There are more interesting things in the report than even the ones I've already read. We've not even gotten to the real damaging aspect of the report. If you come here and see, Analysis of all rating reports completed by Liberian authorities, including the Liberian National Police, the Liberian Environmental Protection Agency, the Liberian Petroleum Refinery Company, and others, to the extent that the report addressed cause and or origin references. So they did an analysis. They say our engagement was predicated on the belief that our training and experience in fire investigations would allow us to confirm the conclusions drawn by the Liberian authorities, to specifically process and evaluate the fire scene to see if evidence could be recovered to assist with their investigation. Consistent with best practices, we began our investigation with the goal of a holistic approach to the fire scene. In the sessions that follow, we will provide our professional opinion on the following. Listen to their professional opinions on the following. I beg you, Chief, give me 15 minutes. On the following. Analysis of all rating reports completed by Liberian authorities, including the Liberian National Police, LMP, Fire Service, EPA, the LPRC, and others, to the extent that the report addresses cause and origin references. Meaning, when the person when we came to do the investigation, we are not even done investigation. LPRC, Fire Service, the police, the EPA, all of them are already ran analysis. They are already done analysis, establishing the cause of the fire and the origin of the fire. The main reason why they invited them from America to kind of establish, EPA already established, Fire Service already established, LPRC already established, and police already established. Evaluation of the rapid fire spray, they are already established. Process through which other potential causes were ruled out. Interview of building maintenance personnel. Evaluation of the photographic and video evidence captured by persons or organizations throughout the fire, and capturing the evidence to the physical evidence inside the Capitol. Our own physical evaluation of the scene, including debris and fire patterns. Conducting our own evaluation of other potential causes. Evaluating the physical evidence within the fire scene to determine if they match statements made by witnesses, suspects, and or photographic video evidence. These are things that people came to do. They stand on the set. They want to evaluate the physical evidence that the police or fire service say they have within the fire scene to determine if they match the statements that were made by the people they call witnesses or the suspects, or photograph that they say they have, or video evidence that they say they have. We'll stop here tonight, folks, and take calls. We want to take more calls, so let's stop here. We're going to eat all of the time. Initial incident. So we'll stop to initial incident briefing. That's where we're stopping tonight. The initial incident briefing. We'll continue tomorrow. If I get money, we'll continue tomorrow. If I don't get money, we'll continue on Monday. So now you can be you brought tonight psychological now. So yeah. So you gotta relax the mental tension. Folks, this is it. Fire service get no capacity. Fire service get nobody trained in forensic investigation to run forensic analysis. The government of Liberia, through the fire service, had already announced that the situation was arson before they even called them here to come in and establish a cause. The fire service used outdated method, but there, for example, they just stand up and look at the color of the smoke and draw a conclusion that it is arson. Joseph Boratu announced it. Gregory Como announced it and started arresting and investing and conducting criminal investigation. When the folks from Rescue Fire Alliance had not arrived in the country. So when they came, they were shocked. No report from fire service to work with. Nothing. No laboratory, forensic laboratory in the whole country. So how the fire service arrived at the conclusion, Joseph Boga pick it up, or Gregory Como follow. But in essence, in reality, Joseph Boakai did not follow fire service. It was fire service that followed Boakai, because Boakai was the first to announce arson before fire service came out, and Greg began, and Greg continued from there with a criminal investigation. This is a sad story, but it's interesting. This is a revealing reality that we've been talking over and over. I tell you, I said, me my hair, when I put my more in my hand in something, I can move beyond A until I see the end. They fire team here will join inside A until we see the end. They will not have nothing from us. We join inside until we see the end. Let's take call 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 plus 231 886 500 104. Those are the numbers to call and be a part of the show tonight. This is the first period presentation. We might do second period. We might continue with first period tomorrow to end it, and then we'll begin second period on Monday. Let's hear you. Let's hear you, my brother. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Austin, thank you very much. Another beautiful one. You enjoy it, my brother. You know, the first period part, we just listen to the first period. We second period part, we ain't wait. But also, you know, I want to ask the Laban people, you see that whole fire report and thing. We've been waiting for that fire report a long time. But finally, we're able to have access and listing and know what actually in that report. You see, Laban people, I tell you, the people went over there to do cover up. They want to go destroy our history, 25 years of government history, records. That's what they want to go get rid of. All the reports, contract, land deeds, all the things that they want to go rid of. That's what they try to get rid of. And Austin, in our building there, you know, we in some building there, when the building, when the building, when it comes to fire thing, or when fire happen in the building, either alarm will go on, you kind of be hearing the alarm, or some area then you see light will be flashing.
Yeah.
To let people know that fire in the building, light will flash. Or in that Capitol building, you know what to get at?
A flat there.
No, the people build that building, they put fire safety in that building. The building got light flashing. It doesn't have the sound. It got light flashing. Look, there are people that are in that building when
the alarms,
the fire.
The alarms destroy. I remember when we were calling Capitol building, Baba Chima's hire one fire supplier, fire vendor, fire extinguisher vendor to supply extinguishers in the building, and he had the bulbs, the smoke, the alarm, they had the alarm, they had the smoke and everything there.
The building is built for that. So every building got to get a fire safety code. But in like advanced building to get sign thing, everybody will wake up to hear the sound, it will be going up. But in Liberia, the Capitol building, it got light. The level flashing every area again, so you can know that emergency.
Especially at night, you see it.
It's that. Then in that same building, look like the Chinese people build that building. In that building, you know that building got a server room.
No, the new building has all of what you're talking about, but the old building, which hosts the John Chima that got burned, all those things destroyed, my brother.
No, the people saying that the play got destroyed. No, the people looking at the wall and the John Chima that got destroyed. But when you look at it today, that place got room. It got like division A, B, C, and D. Look, they are cleaning our inner building, Austin. That people that work over there for 20 years and thing. The day that thing happening, and look, people that are trying to pin to the thing, they put for negative one side, but that will not stick. The people get people that work in that place a long time, they know people and everything, and they will not just say that. As soon as the thing happen, there are people that on the cases investigating, probably investigator, trying to understand what really happened and thing. They not report anything, and there are so many things that we're hearing, and people are in our places and know what happened. You know what they want to phone thing for?
I think political. I think it's political, but all I'm talking about professional thing. I think it's political.
No. You hear things about that case, loud war in that building there, that place, you get ears there. People hear things, people say, like one JB Cannon, he say, oh, like somebody do the building, like who do you get the thing? The fire report say, you know the guy that came on the state, what I like about it, they are professional. They ain't anybody more. The way they see it, I will lay there and I will give it to you. And the way you explain the story right there. And there are a lot of things in that report that the people explain for the Liberian people to be asking questions and things. And we need to know the truth, my brother. And the truth, they will not burn the fire.
No.
We get to know it. Thank you very much. And thanks to the Liberian people. Continue what you do, my brother.
Welcome, my brother. Let's hear you, Davis. Go ahead, Davis.
Hello, Austin. Good evening.
Good evening,
good morning. Good morning from my side. And I call you, I joined the conversation from the People's Republic of China. Austin, what I want to say is that our country is not a serious country when it comes to dealing with these situations. We had the Liberia National Police on ground protecting the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
We listened to audio of Senator
Samuel
Koga confessing that he was on the grounds of the Capitol that night when the Capitol building got burned. Why is it the Liberia National Police has not called him to question him?
He's untouchable.
Our country is not going anywhere. People are doing things and working with impunity. That's why we have people all over the place sexually molesting teenagers around the country. In that case, will go under the carpet, it will not even surface, and that guy will work with impunity.
And the father might even lose his job because the father works at the Ministry of Youth and Sports as the Deputy Chief of Security. He might even lose his job.
I listened to the father not too long. He was saying that the minister was threatening him that I will deal with you. These are the things that caused us senseless 14 years of war in this country. They want to take us back.
Mm-hmm.
On the 42 years experienced old man, Liberia is deteriorating gradually and perpetually. If care is not taken, we will not have the good Liberia we are waiting for, and all people built over the period of time before Baka became president of that country.
Thank you, my brother.
Liberia is going nowhere. Thank you very much, Austin.
Enjoy your channel. Enjoy your channel. Thank you. Good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Austin, how are you? Thanks again for the work that you do for country. This the visually impaired are keeping biography to the fire to deliver. There are many questions than answer because where in the that will occur before even we can even lay our hand on this report that you are training us through. Where in the world that an incident will occur? That's why you refuse to question the police that was deployed to take care of that building. You also refuse to talk to the security that was manning that Capitol building. My people. But there is no security, there's no personal security that the people employ before the police that was ordered to beat up the security at Capitol building before the incident occurred. We do have private security there. Are they giving you any answer? Are they talking to you? You didn't ask them. You left it. Okay, how can you for yourself come on with a report and then the government itself brought their own investigator? They are telling us that you are not capacity, you lack the ability to give any report that relates to that fire. But it's good what you said. I know for nothing and others are taking this report very serious. The way people can see it happening, if it is presented in court as some of their evidence that the government is forcing prosecuting them, they can eye for another forensic investigation that will be independent.
Thank you. Use the report to counter the evidence provided by the government. Good evening to you. Let's hear you. 30 seconds each. Yeah. I'm all right, Ambassador. Let's hear you.
Thank you for the show. No, also I want to say our country now, the way to see it is not correct. The investigation is independent. I'm telling you. From the day profile they stand by the rule of law and they say what is the way of doing not correct. That they find the communication in your country. Then you can't get it come on. People that are on the ground. You can't call them for questioning. You put them behind. And for the unfortunate, I don't know anything about fire penalty at Capitol building. People that are on the ground mind that place. Where are they? You don't even wait there. You call the person on a scene day. When you go there, that's an awesome. Now when you say you're both a boy, that's an awesome. Can you come up here for the fire service net behind? You will fire service boss now. He said the thing that fire that the thing that happened, who do all did it. Then we put their sense. But the more you see, you have everything to dispose of. You have everything, all the things that you're see that we are going to bring for the Liberian people. Today, you said it, or you want to go to embassy to come and cover you up. You put it in the post, no report, get it for never whatever, and they said there was no answer. Nothing you go answer. Tell again that report, you tell them what going on, what report to you, but I report, but I can't be you tell me in this country. Then you only put for year and then you drag it there from quote to quote, and you think you are doing the right thing. Someone watching, looking at them, and then go ahead. But every history get a punishment. Anything you do, somebody is going to cancel it tomorrow. But when you go for the way to go to jail, or you go to jail, then God will be the judge for them. Then God be a bill with the girl they do.
Thank you.
That next people get it for what they do. Here is just a minister, then they go ahead. Nobody go apologize you. If you now want to put you in tomorrow, go to jail, you want to pay debt.
Thank you, Ambassador CC. Let's hear you. Go ahead quickly. 30 seconds. We're taking one more call and go home.
Yes, I'm gonna use the 30 seconds. This is Hussein Kel. Austin, thank you for the show. In fact, got interest in the human interest that you talk about that has to do with
you get injured in the camera with conversation. You got injured.
I got interest in that case, right? But you get into the massive insulting the leaders, so I don't want to go around before you cut me off.
Massively, who she insulted?
She said the man both from Moscow.
I'm not that deep, but I actually did not hear it.
That's what she said. So
I apologize to my audience, but I didn't hear it.
Okay, so Austin, the Minister of Gender has taken seize of the matter. In fact, the Justice Minister have assured the public that they will investigate that case to the core. And the Minister of Youth and Sport will be appearing on the sister show. If you leave the show, that's Fado. Since one of the callers said the minister is backing the deputy minister for what he did.
No, man. Do you wanna other aspect? And people always suspect a government official always be at edge. You know.
Hello.
Last caller, please go ahead.
Hello, Austin.
Yeah, my last caller. Let's hear you.
Yeah, hello, Austin. My full name is G. Winston Plain, CK 102, Mr. Walking Well. Austin, we are then informed in this country that the Unity Party led government have come out to strangle each and every Liberian. Yes, that we understand with the type of stress and anger they came with. But with the issue of the arson case that has been established at the capital city, no one is here to fool the Liberian people. We all understand how the issue went on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, if you carefully look at, I'm a private investigator. If you look at the situation with the capital city, Austin, the people try to do this so that they can be able to make their child to know white, and if they say that they are white people. Now, Gregory Kumashu has been arrested because these are people that who carry on the act. Even the senator from Nima County, who is also involved, who said that he was there that night, he should be arrested. There are a lot of people, especially from the belt, who went today. I think you people can listen to the report. The report is clear. The report is clear to the Liberian people that the former speaker and others who are there involved, they are innocent. The report is clear, but let this be known to every Liberian and let them get it that the people children that they have in service on a custody will not go in vain. There will be a times that it is only because of the sake of peace we are quiet, we are tolerant, but we are not afraid.
No, I know. Nobody's afraid. So we have to. I told you today, just the first people just begun to deal with the report. So tomorrow, like I said, we might do a special edition tomorrow just because of this report to exhaust the first period note, and then we resume second period on Monday.
You came my mind. For you, you go to school. I will stay for you.
I get money. But folks, that's it. The report is in our possession now. We are going to exhaust the report. You listen for yourself. Thanks to all of you for joining the show, for following. Thanks to all of you for listening, for watching, for viewing in the manner and form you did. That's the only way. That's the best way you can support the work we do here. That's the best way you can motivate and encourage us. We shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace, or Monday next week if all goes well. Whatever the case is, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. 2 persons won for themselves $5,000. And then I would give the number to Mr. Nimlin. He will call the 2 winners. But I'm leaving. Austin Kawa is my name. Bye bye. Yeah.